Madam Toastmaster. I am confused. Most of the speech is written in dialect, and you spoke a lot about Genwise, but you just did a speech on Genwise. You need to review your speech. Well, that took the wind out of my sails. Here I was, thinking I had the perfect speech, only to hear it was not as good as I thought it was. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. At one of our bi-weekly Toastmaster meetings a few weeks ago, I walked into the meeting hall and was taken aback when I saw the word of the day. Displayed around the room was the word grandiloquent. Immediately, I thought of the legendary Caribbean writer and storyteller Paul Keynes Douglas. I never knew grandiloquent was a word in the English dictionary. Did you? I always thought it was a fun word crafted by Paul Keynes himself when he wrote the piece Fet Match. Do you remember that speech? Let me jog your memory. On this great and grandiloquent occasion, it behooves me to be here. As a matter of fact, it behooves me to be anywhere. Yes, such is the nature of the man. I will give you a little background about Paul Keynes Douglas. He specializes in poetry and dialect speeches based on life experiences. Some of his more memorable pieces include Tanty at the Oval, Tell Me Again, and Fet Match, among others. I got the idea to write a Paul Keynes speech for my CC project number 6 while I sat listening to him at French's house in September. The very next day, I wrote my speech and emailed it to one of my mentors. In my mind, I thought the speech was an excellent piece to demonstrate the project objectives, vocal variety. However, to my surprise, my mentor was of a different opinion. I was not prepared for her response. However, I did not get angry, nor did I despise her for what was obviously her honest opinion. I did some introspection. Here are my positive thoughts. My mentor has achieved her Competent Communicator Award and is a seasoned Toastmaster. Therefore, she is qualified to determine whether or not I met the project objectives. Secondly, I console myself that my mentor believes I have the ability to do better, and therefore I must. Thirdly, I came to the conclusion that my mentor may have grown accustomed to the high quality speeches that I have delivered in recent times, and therefore has an expectation that my speeches should improve with each delivery. I told myself that if my mentor held me in such high esteem, I should strive to meet and surpass her expectations. Fellow Toastmasters, my goal was to complete my Competent Communicator Manual and achieve my Competent Communicator Award by December 2011. I am at project number 6 with 4 more speeches to go, and I may not achieve my objective. Listen to what Paul Keynes would say. This Toastmaster journey is not a race, you know. It is not a competition. I know that you are eager to complete your manual speeches and become a distinguished Toastmaster as Toastmaster Monica. However, in doing so, you have an obligation to yourself, not just to complete the projects, but to ensure that the project objectives are achieved in the process. To do otherwise will be doing yourself an injustice. Fellow Toastmasters, I embarked on my Toastmaster journey first and foremost to improve my communication skills and to become an effective leader, both of which are of utmost necessity in my field of work. Once I have mastered the art of communication and leadership, then I can achieve my ultimate goal of impacting lives by creating and shaping a culture that supports and facilitates learning. I could have easily ignored my mentor and proceeded with my number 6 project. However, that would have not achieved my objective as a Toastmaster. This Toastmaster journey is not primarily about self. It is about adding value, building relationships, impacting lives, and creating and shaping cultures that will eventually benefit self in the medium to long term. This was a very humbling experience. But through the years, I have learned that humility builds character. On reflection, I agreed with my mentor. My speech was not organized. It did not flow. I seemed to be moving from one idea to another with nothing to connect the dots except humor, which was a constant. In hindsight, I think that piece was purely written for entertainment, stand-up comedy to be exact. In the final analysis, I chose to scrap my first draft and rewrite my speech twice. It took some time, but it was worth the effort. Fellow Toastmasters, when you think that you have prepared the perfect speech, and after review by your mentor, she says, or he says, this is not working, don't get on the defensive, and don't try to justify what you have written. Here's a piece of advice. Swallow your pride. Listen to your mentor's comments and rework your speech. After all, when we fall, we must pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and hit the road running again. In life, it is not the fall that matters, but the rise after the fall. As Toastmaster Alana would say, it's about being under construction. Madam Toastmaster.